So how is the current ratio interpreted? What, in the end, does it really mean? For Orange Inc. in 2022, for every $1 of current liabilities, Orange has $1.58 of current assets. This means that their current assets are greater than their current debts. In 2021, they had $1.51 of assets for every $1 of current debt. And in 2020, they had $1.93 of current assets for every $1 of current debt. So, is the current ratio good for Orange Inc.? Well, generally, if the ratio is lower than 1, it indicates that the company's current debts are greater than its current assets. Orange's ratios are all greater than 1, so it appears that they're doing fairly well. In theory, the higher the current ratio, the more capable a company is of paying its current debts as they come due, because it has more short-term assets than short-term liabilities. So it looks like Orange is doing well. However, it's important to not just assess whether the current ratio is greater than 1. What makes the current ratio good or bad often depends on how it is changing, the trend over time. A company that seems to have an acceptable ratio in that it's greater than 1 could be trending down, indicating it will, in the future, have trouble paying its bills when they come due. That's the situation which appears to be true for Orange. Their current ratio has declined in the last 3 years. The improvement between 2021 and 2022, going from 151 to 158, is only a tiny recovery. This trend of the current ratio over time would be expected to have a negative impact on the company's share value. On the other hand, a company that may appear to be struggling now in 2022 could be making good progress towards a healthier current ratio, as shown by the slight increase between 2021 at $1.51 and 2022 at $1.58. So, if Orange's trend is improving, is this good and we can relax now? No. We can't make a statement about a current ratio being good or bad unless we have a benchmark against which to measure it. The trend is a benchmark. We can clearly see that Orange's current ratio has declined sharply since 2020, from $1.93 down to $1.58. Certainly, this is not a good trend for Orange. They've acquired more current debt over the last 3 years in comparison to their current assets. However, we should also compare the company's current ratio to the industry average. That would be an additional benchmark against which the current ratio can be measured. So, let's give a few examples. Say the industry average is a current ratio of 1.23 to 1, meaning that, on average, companies in Orange's industry have $1.23 of current assets for every $1 of current debt. In that case, we would say that although Orange's current ratio has declined significantly in the last 3 years, it is still well above the industry average. This is excellent. The company is ahead of its peers. Now let's say instead that the industry average was $2.04. For every $1 of current debt, the companies in this industry have $2.04 of current assets. You can see how this changes the picture of how we assess Orange's current ratio. Suddenly, the significant decline in the last 3 years looks even worse than before. Orange is not even close to the industry average, and this would be one indicator of the company's financial health declining in the last 3 years. So what's the lesson learned? In order to truly assess the current ratio, we would have to have information about the trend over time within the company, as well as information about the industry average, so that we can benchmark the company against its peers. We'll continue our exploration of the current ratio in the next video.